Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda, also known as Mrs. Archiver, and today we're going to be talking about Go Wild. Let's get into it. First, if you don't know what Go Wild is a huge conference that happens every year. From what I've seen, Go Wild is the biggest planner journaling conference you can go to. That is like a huge party. It is 3 days if you want to count registration day, but it is jam-packed of motivational speakers, different journaling and planner brands, and also they do have some parties. So it is really I call it the Disney of planner journaling conferences. It is the biggest. It is, from what I've seen, the most expensive. The ticket is not cheap. Your girl had to do the payment plan, I'm not going to lie. The first thing before you even listen to anything that I have to say, if you have never experienced Go Wild, it's one of those things that you have to just try once in your life. So if you've never done it, go to wildforplanners.com. You can see all the information there. You can look at the promo videos, get a really good idea. But I'm going to talk mainly about my experience. When I had gone to Go Wild Vegas, I really went as just a spectator. I kind of knew what to expect. I was just kind of open-minded. I didn't really know anybody in the community. I just wanted to really experience this because it looked so fun. So this time going to Go Wild Dallas, I am going with a completely different mindset, okay? I went as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, as a small business owner, to get inspiration, to learn from other companies, to network with other content creators and brands, to experience planning and journaling brands in person, and also, of course, to meet like some content creators and such that I have followed for years and have the chance to be able to meet them in person. The biggest bonus is seeing people that you haven't seen in a really long time. And if you've gone to Go Wild before, chances are you're going to run into some of the people from your previous Go Wild experience, and it's like a little reunion. As an entrepreneur, content creator, calligraphy instructor, I wanted to go to the shop summit, and it was a very last minute thing, and I ended up going. It's geared toward entrepreneurs, small business owners, and content creators. So it's really like the back stuff, that like the back end of businesses and creators. And I love all like the behind the scenes stuff of like how they pivoted with their business, how they ended up growing, what tips and advice can they recommend. Like I geek out over that kind of stuff. We're in a real big room, and it was sponsored by Edding. So Edding is a company that is from Germany, and they sponsored our like bag, and it had some exclusive items in there that hadn't been released to the public yet, and also like a little apron and some stuff that we could take notes and everything with. These speakers, all of them I thought were awesome because they all came from different backgrounds of how they handled their business. So I was able to get a lot of information from them. Also, meeting the people around me, it was really nice. Even there was a person that had made like 1,000 bracelets and put them in our Go Wild box that was mailed to us, and I got to meet her. She was like right next to me. The other thing is that they had what's called breakout sessions. So if you don't know what a breakout session is, what it is you end up going to a room, and it has a particular speaker that is talking about a particular topic, and it is crammed with information within 30 minutes. And within that 30 minutes, like people can ask questions. So think of it as kind of speed dating for information. There was several different ones, but we were able to only pick two or stay in the same one again, so that way you could get more information. But the two that I ended up taking was one, content creation, and then the other one that I took was how to pay your rent with Patreon. Now, Patreon, I'm not going to get too much into it, but it is a subscription based. So for followers, that if they're wanting to support the creator in any way, or the creator wants to even give like something free to their community, they can do it through that also. And they had talked about how they really involve their community and how they grow their community. So I learned a lot from that experience. What was also fun was that before you went to the conference, there was an online group and you're able to like chat with people, throw ideas out there. And so there was some ideas that I had shared with the community, and it was really fun to have some of those people in the community come up or like tell me, "Hey, aren't you the girl that shared this or that?" And I made one of my own, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So that was one of the other things that was really nice, is that you could see the people in person that you helped inspire, and that just made me like geek out and made me so happy to know that like I helped some people or inspire them to make their own kind of things. So that was really nice. Now let's get into Go Wild the first day, which I count the first day, which is registration day. So you end up, when you show up, I highly recommend. They had it to where, you could go things like to like pick up your bag from like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. But here's my thing. Go get your bag first if you do. The reason why you want to get your bag is because they have this thing called the Planner Fair. The Planner Fair is going to have a lot of little kiosks with businesses that you can meet the owners, have photo ops. Sometimes they're giving stuff away, or you can buy different things. So I had a wonderful time. My body was like, "You're done. You're done." And my body, I'll be honest, it's going to be a little personal, but my body, I do have aches and stuff due to health medication. So after I should not have pushed myself. If you're tired, listen to your body. Don't be like me. But I got all the things done and I went outside and I literally like sat up against a wall on the floor for a good hour. And I even like laid on my back at one point because I was like, why did I do this? But you're having fun and you're like, no, I just want to do all the things. And so after I was done with the Planner Fair, I did go back to my hotel. My body was like, okay, no more. The registration day at the very end, you can go back at 7 p.m. or something like that, where they were having a welcome party. So you can go, and there was like a piano and such, but I didn't go. So I can't really talk about how the welcome party was. I ended up going and getting snacks. I ended up going to like Walmart. Was that the day? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because it all ends up like blurring together. That's the thing with this conference too, is so much is happening and so much is jam packed that it just kind of blends together, and then you're just kind of like, ah. So I want to say it was that day. I ended up going and getting some snacks, so that way for like the next day, I would be good to go. I wanted to experience being in line, and everyone was supposed to line up at 6:30. And when I say line up, people are lining up to be able to go into the main conference room, where there's all these tables that are sponsored by different brands, and some of them are so beautiful, and they offer all kinds of stuff for the people that are sitting at these tables. So a lot of people start lining up really early. They were supposed to start at 6:30. I was reading comments of people that were started lining up at 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning. The doors didn't open until I think it was 7:30, because they were going to start at 8. So when I got there to be there at 6:30 to line up, there was a very, very long line. But what I did is ended up, some people make contact cards, and it's usually like a little business card or a card that has like stickers on it, but it's just kind of like a way to introduce yourself. I passed out all of mine. So as I was walking toward the back of the line, I was like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And I thought it was the back of the line, and there was somebody, like a couple of people over, and they were like, the back of the line is outside. And I was like, what? And I look, and there was a whole line outside. So I was like, yeah, that's not fair. I'm going to go outside. So I did go outside. The line moved fairly fast. We were inside pretty much in no time. There was a wait. But let me say this, even after waiting in such a long line and starting out, I still sat in the very front. So my game plan wasn't to sit at a certain table or a certain brand. Mind you, I was so tempted. There was so many that I passed up that I was like, "Ooh, that looks pretty. Oh, that looks pretty." But I was like, "Nope." My thing was I wanted to be at the front so that way I could see and hear the speakers properly. And I sat at a wonderful table. It was Christiane Designs, and she was very generous on her table, supplying all different of the favorites in her shop. And it was beautiful. And I even got to sit at the table where it was a pink bag because your girl loves pink. All of my table mates were really sweet. They were really nice. I had a great time. The speakers are motivational speakers. We also had Christine Cruz, or Christina Cruz. I think it's Christine Cruz. Beautiful singer. There was, it was, gosh, I'm lost for words. All of the motivational speaking, including the owner of Archer and Olive, talking about how important journaling is for mental health and why they started journaling for their mental health. There again, it just kind of inspires you. It helps you step out of your comfort zone and you end up learning, how to create different things, or like card making. I don't really dabble in card making, but I learned that day. So some speakers, they will have between 30 to 45 minutes. With 30 minutes, they're speaking or teaching you something, and 15 minutes, about 15 minutes of questions from the audience. So other times the audience was asking really good questions too. Of course, the highlight for everybody was Martha Stewart, because Martha Stewart was there. And let me say, Martha Stewart, she is cheeky. She is cheeky. The reason why I say cheeky is that you can tell she is a type of woman that knows what she wants. She wants it a particular way, and that's it. If you've ever seen The Devil Wears Prada, I would say she's Miranda Priestley. Like, I would not want to be on her bad side. But at the same time, being an inspirational woman, for everything that she has done throughout the years for, women, which that can go into a whole other categories and a whole other talk. But again, coming back around. So the motivational speaker. So I was taking notes like crazy. And I have this thing I say, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. So in other words, you take what resonates with you and what inspires you, and you leave the rest. And if it doesn't, do anything for you, cool, But I felt really inspired. It made me brainstorm about a lot of other things that I wanted to try, and it really motivated me, and I was really happy with that. After that, they did have an energy break. The energy break was sponsored by Cloth and Paper, and what that means is they had light snacks. Back into the conference, we did finish up with some, card making and things like that. After that was done, I was pretty tired from the day. So they were going to have a large break. You could still do the meet and greets, but I had already done the meet and greets the day before our registration. So I was kind of like, okay, I need to just go back to the hotel, right? So for me, because there was a long gap in between, and I didn't realize, like I did, but I didn't, there was going to be a few hours before it would pick up again. I think it was 7 o'clock again, and there was going to be 3 workshops, and I really wanted to do those workshops, and they were included in the ticket. They weren't an extra charge or anything. So I ended up leaving the conference, and the plan was I was going to go back to the hotel to rest, to take a nap. And as I parked my car in the parking lot of the hotel I was staying at, which was like 5 minutes away because I didn't stay, on site, the algorithm, right, popped up this stationery place, and I did not realize it was in Dallas. And I was like, what? And it was the area, because I used to live in Dallas. And it was in an area that was like 22 minutes away or something like that. And I was like, do I rest or do I go do it? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have another opportunity unless I were to make another trip to Dallas, because the conference was in Arlington. That's another thing. They kept saying Dallas, but it was actually Arlington. And Arlington is kind of in between Fort Worth and Dallas. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to push through. So I ended up going to that stationery shop, went there, and then went straight back to the hotel, dropped off the things, needed to eat something, took off again, went to go eat, came back, took a nap. I don't even know how long the nap was, maybe an hour. I don't know. Took a nap, got back up, went back to the conference, and did the three workshops. They were called Wild Crops. So Mark from Market Pages was like the host. He ended up teaching us like a journaling spread, a bullet journal spread. Then it was, after that, was it Amanda Richley? Hi, this is tired editing Amanda. It wasn't Amanda Richley. It was Bess from Lights Planner Action, and they ended up sharing with us a sampler of their GoWild sampler, which had different kind of layouts, and so they taught us how to use some of the pages. Then it was Amanda Richley, and then she showed us how to draw a frog. It was cute. The froggy was cute. I thought it was cute. Then after the frog, it was a sound bath by The World by Brit, and she is a spiritual guru. And so it was a sound bath where it was these large bowls and just vibration and just kind of getting you in that zen and getting you into that mode. And by that time, because it was the end of the day, I was very, all right, I am ready for bed. So ended up leaving the conference, going back to the hotel. I did have to talk to my husband for a little bit. So then by the time I went to bed, after I got back up to the room, probably like midnight, and then I was like, okay, so that was the end of that day. And then something ended up coming up, and I wasn't able to make the last day of the conference. And the last day of the conference was going to have several speakers again. It was going to be an all day. So from what I hear, people had a great time. And then also at the end of that day, they would have what's called Plan Jamma, and Plan Jamma is not anything to do with planning either. But they did like rent out this really large space, and they had a DJ and all of that from what I had seen other people posting. So that is going to be what Go Wild is. You have your registration day, you have your all day on registration day is usually Thursday. Then you have your all day conference on Friday, and then you have the all-day conference on Saturday. Sunday is usually when people start checking out and going for brunch or whatever, but the conference is pretty much done. The Wednesday before registration day is typically the shop summit. So, what my final thoughts? Was it worth it? Yes. For what I was wanting out of this, it was worth it for me. But I also went in there with a goal in mind and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to achieve. And I was able to do that. And will I go to next year? I think I will recoup from everything as far as spending wise, because again, the hotels, the conference ticket, the food, everything in between, it does cost. So I need to recoup from that, to be honest. And then, so I'm thinking I'll probably wait 2 conferences and then go again, kind of like how I did Vegas, missed out on 2 and then do, one again. But my sister is like, well, they have a payment plan and she's really curious about it and she wants to go. And I said, well, we'll see, because I need to recoup from this year of going to Go Wild. But again, would I recommend it? Yes. If you've never been, go and experience it at least once. I'm really glad that I did, and I learned a lot, and I cannot wait to apply what I learned to this channel and my social media. That's going to be all for now. I thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.